Last week was quite the firestorm for the Final Fantasy VII Remake, with not one, not two, but three, count them, 3 leaks being published. We've already reported on one of those leaks here at Less Than Epic, but as it turns out for many leaks in the video game industry, some of those may be hoaxes. This is Radical Edward for Less Than Epic, and today I'd like to go over all of the leaks that came out last week, and then explain why I expect this trend to continue for the Final Fantasy VII Remake. The first leak that came out last week was an alleged accidental tweet by the official Square Enix Twitter account. We actually reported on this leak last week when it happened, believing the tweet to be true. Links in the description if you haven't seen our coverage of that yet. But as it turns out, we may have jumped the gun a bit in believing this tweet to be true. And we believed it to be true because it fits so well into the financial report, as well as a lot of other surrounding evidence that Square Enix and those working on the Final Fantasy VII Remake have released. Check out our video reporting on that financial report if you're interested as to why this tweet fits so nicely into it. But beyond that, it also gives some really good information as to why we think that Square Enix is intending to release the Final Fantasy VII Remake around the holiday season of this year. Go ahead and check that out, links in the description. Anyway, while this leak was the most believable of all of the leaks that happened last week, it's more than likely at this point that this leak is a hoax. And the first reason why we think that is that only one person claimed to see this tweet, and that was the person that allegedly screen capped it. This leaker posted their screenshot to the 4chan video game image board, and a few other media outlets picked it up from there. If the leaker did fake this image, they did a really good job of trying to make the leak seem as real as possible. They have the time of the tweet only seconds after it allegedly released. The image released with the tweet is fairly believable, and also in line with what we know Square Enix's plans are for 2019, and they also doctored the left side thumbnail, which is what Twitter does with image tweets. Overall, all of these things make this leak look fairly legit. There are definitely a few problems with this image, however. There is a definite graininess in the image, particularly around the uncovered text. There are also many different fonts used in the image, which isn't in line with a lot of corporate marketing, and probably the most damning, the uncovered text is nearly identical to a similar event that Square Enix put on for Final Fantasy XV. Now, it's totally plausible, however unlikely, that this leak is still real. Square Enix could be intending to make uncovered something they do for all new Final Fantasy title releases. I don't personally believe that, nor do I think that this leak is real at this point, but I'll let you make up your own mind on this one. The second leak from last week is probably the most exciting 12 hours I've had in waiting for the Final Fantasy VII Remake thus far. This leak not only seemed real, but it came with 4 HD screenshots which allegedly came from the Final Fantasy VII Remake. This leak seems to have originated from a Twitter account which seems to have been made with the sole purpose of tweeting these 4 images and then adding a few media members. Yet they didn't at Less Than Epic. Are we not big enough at this point to receive leaks? Share this video. Anyway, within 12 hours of this leak being lived, a user on Reddit found the source for the screenshots. The source was unfortunately not the Final Fantasy VII Remake, but instead another PlayStation game from Chinese studio TI Games called Fist. The game has a very similar art style to Final Fantasy VII, mixing cyberpunk, steampunk, and fantasy elements, and also seems to be based on some kind of metropolis that looks very similar to Midgar. It's no wonder then that the leaker thought they would have a laugh and see if they could create a hoax leak from it. Unfortunately though, that's exactly what this leak is. A hoax. But if nothing else, Fist looks like a pretty cool game, at least from an artistic standpoint. And the third and final leak from last week is simultaneously the least believable, and also the one with the shortest shelf life. This screenshot is alleged to be from the Final Fantasy VII Remake. Honestly, to me, it looks like someone took an image from Google Maps, pasted in some really crappy models, doctored it up in Photoshop, and then took a picture of their monitor with their phone. It's not the least bit believable in quality, art style, or any other measurement factors, so I don't believe this leak in the slightest. Honestly, it seems more likely that somebody decided to hop on the hoax train just to see what they could get people to believe. So that was all of the leaks from last week, from what I feel is the most believable to the least believable. Personally, I think they're all fake at this point, so sorry to anybody who got hyped for my last video. Trust me, I was as hyped as you guys were, and I'm sad to see that that one is also fake. But all of the leaks from last week got me thinking, why are all of these leaks popping up all at once? And more importantly, will this leak trend continue? And if the trend will continue, who are we to trust with a lot of potentially false information out there? On the trends continuing, I do actually think that we are ramping up to more leaks coming out. and I think that that's happening because there's a lot more official information being released by Square Enix. And it's not that they've done a lot of official press releases on this game yet. They're still leading up to that, it seems, in 2019. But it's more that they've done things like release this financial report, again, links in the description where we covered that, where we can glean quite a bit of information into what Square Enix's intentions are in 2019 and beyond. And being that that gleaned information is really all that the remake community has been able to gather, it's no wonder then that a lot of hoaxsters and pranksters have jumped on the bandwagon and tried to create hoax leaks. This is the internet after all. So remain vigilant and don't believe everything that you read on the internet. A lot of leaks that we're going to see coming out about the remake are probably going to be hoaxes, but we will definitely still have to break them down to determine if that's what they are. Anyway, let me know down in the comments below if you also think this leak trend will continue. Also, let me know if you think I'm misinterpreting any of these leaks. Do you think any of them are real? Pending any crazy new leaks or official announcements coming out from Square Enix, I should be getting back to my standard remake speculation videos starting next week. And with that, I'll be continuing to cover the Final Fantasy VII Remake right here on Less Than Epic. So if you like the video, then like the video. Hit that subscribe button and hit that little bell icon so you get notified when our videos go live. This has been Radical Edward for Less Than Epic, signing out.